Hi all, and welcome to the Emergent Vision Technologies presentation. I'm John Eilert, President, CTO, and company founder, and I look to provide details of how Emergent has become the premier supplier of performance camera products supporting 5 GigE, 10 GigE, 25 GigE, and 100 GigE Vision for a wide variety of applications. Later in this presentation, we will run through a number of performance demos to illustrate a few ways you can make use of performance camera systems. Some highlights about Emergent are presented here. We are a multi-award winning company with a focus on high-performance GigE Vision product. We have many years shipping product at speeds of 10 GigE, 25 GigE, and 100 GigE. We have a strong focus on providing end-to-end technologies and comprehensive support for our customers' applications. Here is a quick snapshot of the adoption of GigE Vision products ranging in speed from 10 GigE up to 100 GigE. Emergent has shown how top performance can be achieved and open up many markets, including machine vision and entertainment, to the use of such technologies. Some companies are just now leveraging our efforts towards releasing 25 gig and higher speed product, but still a ways to go to provide ratified, mature, and performance product. We introduced now the Emergent high-speed camera ecosystem, where all items we provide or recommend are thoroughly tested at both the component and system level. Let's first have a look at the cameras we provide at Emergent. Emergent area scan cameras are best known for covering an extremely wide range of resolutions and frame rates. We incorporate all the best sensors from Sony and GPixel. Sony boasts very high image quality with resolutions and frame rates, a perfect match for the Emergent 25 GigE Bolt series and 10 GigE HR series. GPixel boasts high image quality with resolutions and frame rates that push Emergent 100 GigE Zenith series to its limit. Emergent line scan cameras are best known for covering an extremely wide range of resolutions and line rates. We incorporate all the best sensors from GPixel. GPixel boasts high image quality with resolutions and line rates that push Emergent 100 GigE Pinnacle series to its limit, and Emergent 25 GigE XL and 10 GigE Pace models nicely round out the line scan product portfolio. With such a broad range of products, we find it helpful to chart out the various resolutions and frame rates provided. At 10 GigE, the products range from 0.5 megapixel at 1500 frames per second up to 50 megapixel at 23 frames per second. At 25 GigE, the products range from 0.5 megapixel at 1600 frames per second up to 127 megapixel at 17 frames per second. And at 100 GigE, the products range from 2 megapixel at 3462 frames per second up to 152 megapixel at 16 frames per second. For line scan, the products range from 4K at 172 kHz up to 16K at 400 kHz, with a special nod to 9K TDI at 600 kHz line rate with 256 stages. As we launch our new Eros 5 GigE line of cameras in 2024, we will introduce many of the same sensors we already support, but now in lower speed, lower cost, and much smaller size options. While SWIR is coming to 10 GigE soon, we will also include SWIR in the Eros product line. That's a lot of high-speed cameras, so to find the right camera, you can visit the online camera selector from the Emergent website. Enter in your application critical parameters to filter down to suitable models and review other more detailed specs by showing other columns. Finally, click the link to go to the camera product and resource page. Works on PC or cell phone and significantly shortens the time required to find the right camera for your application. Next, proceed to select the lens. You can visit the online lens selector from the Emergent website. Enter the sensor-specific parameters, or just select the sensor model used in the camera you've chosen. Then choose the parameter for which you wish to calculate and filter lenses. Then enter the appropriate input parameters such as field of view and working distance. And lastly, feel free to filter the list further based on manufacturer or other special features. For those that have worked with Emergent, they know we are experts in areas of server technology and turnkey supply, from low-end PCs to high-end dual CPU technologies. We work with you to ensure you have all you need for the most productive development and deployment, and we're always there to lend a hand when you have difficulties with extremely quick turnarounds on even the most challenging problems. We are experts in U.2 and M.2 SSD storage solutions, and the associated host cards for these storage devices. We have also tested and fully integrated solutions for NVIDIA GPU-based product to allow quick prototyping with any Emergent camera. And most importantly, we support GPUDirect on both Windows and Linux. We also have solutions for those wanting to develop and integrate custom FPGA image processing for their most demanding applications. We support the major NIC brands like Mellanox and Broadcom with GPUDirect support, and through our performance drivers, we easily provide the best-in-class performance with zero data loss. Emergent provides its own FPGA-based cards for more specialized applications. We are experts in switch technology and have solid relationships with the major switch manufacturers. We can give you ground-up support in switch programming and integration, and take this right through to deployment as we do with our turnkey customers. We have Emergent certified cabling and transceivers to ensure the product you use will perform appropriately. Canon EF support is available for auto iris and focus applications. Standard mounts are supported and custom adapters are an option as well. Lastly, the glue that holds it all together. Our award-winning eCapture Pro and ESDK are the most flexible and comprehensive software solutions available from any camera manufacturer. Here we answer the question about what we do with all of this high-speed data that the cameras output. Our SDK is the low-level software programmer option for complete custom application flexibility. It has runnable source code examples, which exercises all the critical functionality, like efficiently grabbing frames, PTP synchronization, GPUDirect, multicast, I/O triggering, and more. Our eCapture Pro software is more application-based with a focus on system deployment, rapid prototyping, and includes options for customized GPU and FPGA card processing. We handle all the heavy lifting associated with bringing images to your processing resources, and do so with top performance. Your focus is on your application code. Let's watch eCapture Pro in action in the following demos. Seeing is believing. The first demo has a single camera using GPUDirect to an RTX A6000 GPU. We have a polarization plugin loaded to the GPU. Using the plugin parameters, we first select normal viewing of this IMX253 polarization sensor-based 10 GigE camera. We then select the polarization direction plugin option. The color hue is a measure of the angle of the polarized light. We then select the polarization degree plugin option, which allows us to see in brighter areas when the reflected light is more polarized. Looking at another subject, we first select normal viewing. Note the strong reflection off the windshield and the hood. Using the polarization removed plugin option, we can now improve the visibility of both windshield and the hood. Using the polarization degree plugin option, we can see brighter areas on the windshield and hood, which is indicating strong polarized light in these areas, which are thus good candidates for polarization removal. Let's look at the polarization direction for this subject. Lastly, we took a look at a lens cap with a barely distinguishable service defect. Using the polarization degree plugin option, we can get a more clear view of this defect. Let's look at how one can create their own custom plugin for use within eCapture Pro, taking full advantage of the zero copy, zero loss GPUDirect functionality while writing only plugin code. We first write our code, which is CUDA based for the NVIDIA GPU. With eCapture Pro, we provide a number of working examples like the polarized plugin you have just witnessed. We then compile our code, which creates the plugin DLL, which we later load within eCapture Pro. We now load the plugin DLL. We then instantiate this plugin on the selected GPU and set the plugin option for initial viewing. After connecting the desired camera to this GPU, we run the plugin to view the resultant output. The next example shows a very general purpose, off-the-shelf inference detection plugin. We load the plugin. We now instantiate the plugin on the desired GPU. We connect the camera to this GPU. And finally, we run the plugin and watch the plugin detect and classify the cups in the scene, noting that this tracks the objects as they move. The next example shows a very general purpose pattern matching plugin. The pattern template is created in advance. As before, we load the plugin. We instantiate the plugin on the desired GPU. We need to specify the path to the pattern template. We connect the camera to this GPU, and finally we run the plugin to watch how the pattern is tracked on the moving circuit board. Let's now show how easy it is in eCapture Pro to rearrange the distribution of processing of 21 10GigE cameras with 3 RTX A6000 GPUs by NVIDIA using a very simple brightness plugin. We start by directing all 21 camera outputs to GPU 1. Then we run the plugin. Note here we are using PTP for 1 microsecond synchronization accuracy. Next, we disable GPUDirect with a simple click to illustrate how we can easily support GPUs or environments which do not support GPUDirect. We perform high-performance copies to move images from system memory to the GPU. Let's repeat the previous test, but this time we direct 7 camera outputs to each GPU for a balanced processing distribution. Let's run the plugin again. Again, we show how to configure this without GPUDirect. We note that without GPUDirect, that regardless of high-performance memory transfers, that we are utilizing 2 times the system memory bandwidth, so definitely GPUDirect is preferred. Now let's take a look at a high camera count system to see how this plugin feature can be utilized in such systems with incredible ease of use. We start with a 24 camera base system running on a single mid-range server, and we first expand this to 48 cameras. We add a couple of extra network ports to the system with cameras connected via the same 48 port switch. We then add another GPU to handle the extra workload. In the data flow view, we have loaded and instantiated a H.265 compression plugin. Note how we have multiple GPUs in this single server, and we need to direct the other 24 cameras to the second GPU. While all camera images are being compressed and stored on a single local M.2 drive, we also configured one camera to stream to an RTMP client like YouTube. Let's take a look at that stream video on the YouTube channel. Lastly, we can play back the H.265 files by converting them to MP4, for example. In a similar way, we have many systems out there with large camera counts using eCapture Pro and the applicable plugins for volumetric capture applications. This particular system is a 48 times 25 GigE 25 megapixel 60 frames per second design, storing all images to SSDs. We show here how all cameras are connected to the NICs through a 48 port switch. In the data flow view, we show how we route the cameras to specific SSDs. We can edit the parameters of one camera and then broadcast the settings to all other cameras in the system. We then start the short test recording using PTP synchronization mode with 1 microsecond accuracy. While we are recording, we can view the System tab to illustrate no issues during the recording, such as drop frames, loss of PTP synchronization, or missed saves due to drive full events, to name a few. With the recording complete, we can review the project summary. And for third-party softwares that have high-performance GigE Vision drivers, or those that utilize GenTO for access to our top performance drivers, one can use Emergent cameras quite effectively in these environments. Enter the high-performance world of imaging by leveraging Emergent as a partner and take advantage of the ecosystem we have developed so you can hit the ground running. I wanted to provide a few examples where customers have come to us reporting a poor experience with another vendor's high-performance camera product. In one such recent example, we have 20 times 5 GigE cameras on a single PC. Two major camera manufacturers could not resolve drop frame issues. In another example, we have 5 GigE cameras on a single PC. Over a 2-year period, the vendor made many attempts to resolve drop frame issues but never could. In a final example, the customer was trying to run 8 10 GigE cameras on a single PC. The vendor's comments were that they have never tested more than 2 cameras per PC. All of these customers are now happily using Emergent product. There are 2 very disturbing problems here. One is the poor performance some vendors are offering for their high-speed camera product. The other is that a vendor would actually sell multiples of 8 cameras without having a discussion about what the customer's goals are to ensure the product can meet their needs. Our cameras are everywhere you care to look. We dominate in certain spaces where adoption rate is more rapid. We believe other spaces will follow, especially where factors such as performance, cost sensitivity, system simplicity, and time to market are at play. As you can see, Emergent has the highest performance camera portfolio, and we keep our overall product portfolio focused. We innovate, develop, adapt, and expand the markets we enter and have the foresight to do so. Please do contact us for further details, and we appreciate you taking the time to view our presentation.